The pagan festival of Litha begins soon, meaning Midsummer, full of rites, Gaia worship, along with her lesser-known, mysterious companion. Though on the surface, appearing virtuous, they often see the human race as a plague that their nature god has nothing but contempt for, causing them to participate in dark rites and embrace an ancient spirit that may be returning to reclaim the earth. This Midsummer festival starts the day before the Summer Solstice, a powerful occultic holiday chosen by two environmental activists to put on a spectacle for their cause. On the morning of June 19th, the two ran toward the gigantic structure with what looked like fire extinguishers, but then began spraying the stones with orange paint powder. Bystanders intervened and tried pulling them away, but were unsuccessful until police showed up and made the arrests. The activist group that they belonged to, called Just Stop Oil, said that the two were just taking action and decorated the stones to bring the attention to the lack of environmental protection that the UK government is providing lately. It's so ironic that the spirit of nature worship is being embodied in the defacing of a pagan monument that's in alignment with celestial bodies, making this summer solstice a ritual for generations, especially for the Wiccans and neo-pagans. They carry on a deep occultic tradition held by the ancient Druids. And one of the most well-known and powerful Druids is directly connected to the construction of Stonehenge. Ancient folktales speak of Arthur, the supernaturally gifted king, and his mentor and advisor, the wise and mighty Merlin. He's often depicted as the embodiment of the archetype of the hermit, a long white beard, a fierce countenance, appearing to radiate a burden, the wisdom of the ages. One legend tells of how Arthur was searching for proper burial ground for Britain's dead princes, and when the king's army failed to dig up and erect the large stones, Merlin, who scoffed at their feeble effort, employed his own methods, which were more advanced, and many tales speak of his use of a powerful magic to lift and carry the stones to their modern resting place. Other myths mention the old wizard employing giants to complete the labor. But almost all the stories agree this mysterious wild man used methods far beyond natural means. The Druids never kept written records, but oral traditions are said to have been used to keep the rituals and magic alive among the elite priestly class. And stories of their brutal rituals are notorious. To go more in depth on that, watch my video on the secret origins of Halloween here. But hopefully you can see the irony in the Stonehenge vandalism. A famous druid, one of the progenitors of nature worship, building a monument that still to this day helps carry out that reverence for the Gaia spirit, and it's defaced in order to protest the perceived lack of protection of nature by a modern government. I'm sure it makes sense in their brains somehow. The climate agenda is clearly a facet of this Wiccan, neo-pagan drive to prioritize cleanliness of the earth, and words like cleansing and reset are used by these elites to justify economic plans that are detrimental to human development and health in the long term. You'll own nothing and be happy. You'll live in a pod. Use green, government-approved transport methods, likely Ubering a self-driving electric car, and you'll eat bugs and fake plant-based meat sludge. King Charles, one of the main Green Agenda proponents, makes speeches about the Great Reset. And don't get me started on the occultic ties that the royal family has, the dark esoteric symbols that surround them. But one sticks out in my mind as of late. When Charles was coronated as king this year, he sent out ornate invitation cards. And as I looked at the colors and symbols, the bottom center jumped out at me, seeming to emerge from foliage around it, a green face partially made of leaves. And I knew this face, the Greenman, Cernnunos, the male god of Wicca, the protector of nature, and the suspected unknown god of the ancient druid cults. The one that's associated with human, termination. I dive deeper into the Greenman in this video above, but take a closer look at its headdress, the wreaths of midsummer rituals. And you can see the faded protrusions of what look like faded horns, a subtle, still obvious reference to the horned male nature god. And between them, a torch, almost identical to the one in Eliphas Levi's depiction of the Baphomet. A source of Luciferian light, the wisdom of ages. The elite love this type of shit. They're plainly showing their beliefs and intentions through symbols, and it's easy for one to just overlook and ignore them, however creepy some of them are. I also noticed the monarch butterfly, another favorite symbol of the elites with connections to monarch mind control. A monarch butterfly also showed up in Charles's ultra-creepy portrait recently. He released this, and it looks to be floating just above his right shoulder as he gazes out. The rest of him in the background is saturated in blood-red hues. I feel my skin crawl just looking at this thing. It's an even poorer taste if you take into consideration that this is one of Vlad the Impaler's descendants, who's also taken up residence recently in one of his castles. Not creepy at all. There's something unsettling about all these royals, but one can reasonably surmise that they're up to no good in all likelihood. But there are a lot of health issues going on behind the scenes, and many are saying that this may be the end of an era, that the monarchy may be replaced as a new kind of order may take its place. Whether it's a world government or some neo-pagan religion, the stage is being set, and this horned god is more than eager to rise from the ashes of the old world.
The number you have called is no longer in service.